Oh, man.
Man, this thing is a 2021 F450 King Ranch. What could you possibly want to do to it?
It needs to haul our show trucks to car shows. When the truck drives by, I want people to go, "Dang."
So, man, you finally found one, huh?
Yeah.
I know you've been looking for a minute trying to get one.
These aren't easy to find these days, for sure. You know, it's time for a new shop vehicle. Man, it feels like we go through one every couple years. I need something that will pull a new trailer that will haul multiple cars at once. You know, the F450 is the perfect platform for what we do around here.
Man, this thing is a 2021 F450 King Ranch. What could you possibly want to do to it? Like, what's wrong with it?
Man, it's a really, really nice truck, but I can't be riding around stock like this. I can't do it. Customization is in my blood. This is what we live and breathe every day. I cringe when I'm driving down the road in a stock vehicle. I mean, that's not me. So I'm thinking, you know, it needs a couple of little small upgrades. Just a real small, super small lift, and maybe just a little upgraded tires. Something just a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, nothing crazy.
Bill Carlton that I know wasn't ever happy with 19.5s. In 2000, you had to get semi wheels and turn them down. Then you had to get the Hummer and put the biggest wheel on it. Then your lifted truck had the biggest 30x16s. And this one we're gonna do just a little bit bigger?
Just a little. We're way too busy to build a bunch of crazy stuff on it. So just a little bit higher, a little bit nicer wheel and tires, just a little bit taller, a little wider.
So the biggest wheel and tire possible.
Man, just a little bit bigger.
I'll make sure we're on the same page here, and you are hearing what you're saying. You want to do a little lift and a little upgrade on wheel and tires.
That's it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and open the bay door, and we'll get in the air. We'll get ready. We might have to put on the bigger bay, because I know it may not fit out that door after the big lift and wheels and tires. I'm gonna open the door.
You know, I've been a fan of the F-Series trucks for quite some time. As soon as the new 2021 came out, you know, I definitely had my eye on it. You know, as much as I like these trucks, there's always something that just sticks out in your head that you don't like about it. So, you know, that's what I want to do. Just get it in the shop and put my custom touches on it and just make it cool the way I see it. When I buy a car, you know, that's the first thing I want to do is just tearing it all out and just starting over. Just see what we can do to make it cool, make it stand out, you know, make it different. And really, that's what Ekstensive is all about, making a bone stock car cool. And even something that's been customized before, it doesn't matter. We're gonna make it cooler. You know, I'm gonna be driving this truck on a daily, almost daily basis back and forth to work. So I'm excited to get it in the two-post lift and start tearing this apart, start creating something cool. Man, I appreciate you getting up here, Timmy.
I'm just wondering why you wanted it this high.
What do you think? That's not a good ride height?
It wouldn't surprise me one bit how high you want to go.
No. Man, you know, after looking it over, I'm gonna say it this one time. This time, you're right, Timmy, you're right. We gotta go a little bit bigger than I was originally anticipating.
A little bit.
I mean, this represents everybody here, represents Ekstensive. We gotta have a cool looking truck. Not only am I gonna drive it a lot, but we're gonna use it for the shop. We're gonna go to shows, and I wanna get a 2-car trailer to put behind it, load some cars up on it, have a nice looking caravan going down the road. We're well represented.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger wheel than I was originally anticipating. So 28-inch wheel, and the tires maybe a little bit bigger too, like 40s.
He said, I'm going a little bit bigger tire, a little bit bigger wheel.
Yeah. And then we got to be able to clear the 40s, so it's got to be at least 3 feet off the ground, right? And I want to switch up a little bit, too, and put coilovers on it this time. Coilovers on the front, you know, nice shock hoop and everything, but on the back, we can't have a coilover and haul a 2-car trailer.
Right.
So a big airbag on the back, big 4-link front and rear, so we can totally adjust it depending on the weight. So we can haul whatever we want and not have any issues.
Right.
And we got to make it look good while we're going there too. So, you know, I want to take all the chrome off, paint the grille, all color matched, all black, and just make this thing look mean coming down the road. And I want to put a roll and lock bed cover on it too, just so we can lock up all our stuff in it and just not have to worry about nothing. Just use it, man. We'll have a good time with it. So, y'all ready to do it?
Let's do it.
We got a brand new King Ranch in. Gonna go ahead and start getting this took apart. We can make it a whole lot cooler. One shot, brand new. I think this truck only has like 46 miles on it. It's the kind of shop we are, I guess, you know. All we got left is the drive shaft. I'm gonna remove that. Hey, Tim, would you give me a hand? All right, it's gonna go get powder coated. Not gonna try and lower this by myself. I'm gonna call Mr. Muscle over. Thanks, Muscle Man.
All right, we got the truck all disconnected from the axles, got rid of all the leaf springs, the multiple measurements to figure out the ride height. Where I want the truck to sit, the axles are located at the right height, so the next step is building the 4-link placement. Everything is gonna depend on the drop down on the frame itself of where the 4-link bars are gonna pivot, where everything's gonna play happy. So it's really critical of placement of all the pivot points. So I gotta locate where the pivot points are. Once those are located on the template, all I have to do is get back and draw whatever looks cool. I got my pivot points located in the template itself. Got a real rough idea how I want the shape in metal. The drop down itself is gonna be really a focal point to look at. So you really want that to look cool. I think what I'm gonna do is bring it over to the table, then I can really lay it out and really get a feel for design. You know, I just wanna come up with something that's different. You know, I hate doing the same thing over and over and over. So that's definitely not what we're gonna do on this. We're gonna do something that's unique, creative. That's what I want. I want something, when the truck drives by, people go, dang, look at that right there. And this being a major focal point on cars, this has gotta look good. The major shape, the major measurements are all in place. So I'm gonna transfer this over to some metal. So I'm gonna give this to Jesse. Buddy, you already know.
Yep.
That's what I got for the 450. So I want to make this at a 1/4 inch. This is the main thing right here is 3/4 hole, 3/4 hole. And the rest, this just make it straight here.
All right, I'll get right on it. All right, so Bill brought me the drawings for the hangers. So now what I'm gonna do now, just grab all the measurements, and just put them on my trusty computer and get it ready to go on the plasma table. But now the only thing is, these are a whole lot longer because usually the ones we build usually are like half the length. So these are like double the length. This actually matched up perfectly, so the machine did its job. So now what I'm gonna do, just clean them up real quick. Find the center of these circles right here. I'm gonna mark my hose, punch them. I gotta clean that one off real quick. I got these all cleaned up, punched up. As you can see, these hangers are big, bigger than normal size, but it's for Bill's shop truck, and You already know whatever Bill does is never small, so let me walk this over to him. Let's see how that truck turns out.
You know, lifting up the 450 is part one of my new idea for the shop truck. The other part is being able to tow all the cars to car shows all around the country. And for that, we need a custom trailer. And luckily, I know just the guy to help. What's up, Brian?
Hey, man. What's going on? How you doing?
Man, real good, real good.
What's going on in your world? What are you in here for?
Well, I got a new shop truck.
Okay.
And it's got a little lift on it.
They all have a little lift on it. I mean, what are we talking a little lift here?
Well, it's a little higher than normal.
Come on, let's go on the back here and draw it up.
So, Robert, what I need is a bumper pull.
All right.
And I want the ability of hauling 2 cars at once, and I don't want to be limited to the weight I can carry. My big 5500, which is 16,000 pounds, and, you know, and Tim's truck itself is over 10,000. Plus, you know, whatever else I fit on the trailers.
Okay.
At least 30,000 pounds.
I think we got the perfect trailer for you. What we can do is we can take one of our basic PT trailers here. We can modify the front to where we'll put a 1-inch plate here at the height we need so that you won't have a big drop coming off your truck
Right,
here.
yeah, that's what I don't want is the big drop coming down, having to support it, and have to
Exactly.
worry about stopping and
We'll
starting.
put all of that on the trailer itself. This one shows fold-over ramps. We're gonna do pull-out ramps. Make it easier for you to get up on there.
Right.
These are typically 10,000-pound axles. We're gonna go with 15,000-pound axles. That should give you more than enough capacity
Yes.
for anything that you're trying to do. We're gonna go with 17.5 tires, dual
Right.
wheel. You will not have wheel and tire issues. I promise
Right.
you that.
Big axles, big tires, super long.
This thing is gonna be massive. With all the specs and things that Bill's telling me, this is probably gonna be one of the largest open-air bumper pull trailers that we've ever built.
That sounds like it. That's what I need.
All right,
Let's do it. Now that we figured out the hangers, Tim and Dave are making room for the huge drop down by smoothing everything out. What do you think, Timmy?
That's a big bracket.
It's a huge bracket that holds a lot of weight, right?
Plus, with all this box, it's gonna be even stronger.
Oh, yeah. What we'll do, we got the 2 outer pieces on. Let's get the 2 inner pieces on, and we'll start boxing that in. That's the next step. Because we're gonna be hauling a lot of weight with the F450, the rear suspension has to be extra heavy duty. We're gonna make the 4 links out of 5/16 DOM tubing. And then we're gonna build our 4-link bars, you know, out of 3/8 thick DOM. So it's basically, it's literally bulletproof.
Lower.
Twisted. All right, 58 and 3/8. This is gonna let us transfer all the power from the truck all the way down to the axle, and it all comes right through the 4-link bars itself. So that's a major component of suspension and transferring all the power to the truck, to the road, and to be able to handle everything that's behind this truck as far as stopping and starting. All of that weight gets transferred right here on these bracketry all the way up to the truck itself.
I'm making the rear link bars. These are the, looks like the lower. I've seen I made the lines when I was cutting with the saw, so I know this is as far as I can go to get my measurement for the coping. So as long as I go to there, I'm good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We can make these quick little fixtures, quick little jigs, you know, to make them consistent. Not only that, when we're building it, but after we tear this apart, get it powder coated, we use that same jig to put it all back together, and it all goes right back in nice and straight. You don't have to, you know, waste time later of adjusting and getting it all right. You already know it because the fixture's already here. Get it all square first. So it's a really, really critical stage of the build process is getting everything 100% squared. We want the truck going down the road with the trailer going perfectly straight. Ready?
Yeah.
That is absolutely perfect.
Timmy.
Yes, sir.
Man, the old 46 Ford. It's endless, right?
It's always the small details that take the longest, and we ain't started none of those yet.
Right. You know, a few months back, old Blue Thunder was just a shell of a vehicle. In a few more months, it'd be a badass surprise from my fellow Northsider, Ryan and his dad. We gotta hook him up. We gotta get it done.
Yeah, you're true on that. We need to get something good for him.
You know, good thing, we got a lot of stuff out of the way. We got a lot of stuff checked off our list. We got the frame complete. We got the rear suspension done. We got the engine mounted. You know, got rid of the old Chevy engine. Got a new late model 5.0 Coyote in it. You know, we've done a lot of work to it, but we got a long way to go still. Next up on the list is all new floor. There's no reason to even try to save it. Let's just cut it all out. New floor, firewall, all the way to the rear bumper. Front suspension. You know, there's nothing in the interior, which is good. We don't have to tear anything out anymore. Bad for John. John's got to make everything. But, you know, the good thing about it, we can make it how we want it and make it cool. There's a lot of work involved there to bring it up to 2021 standards.
So where do you want to start?
Well, let's just get out and get after it. We'll get the floors done, get the front suspension done, then we can pull the front end off, do the firewall.
All right, well, I'll get with Max and get the column, the gauges, the AC, make sure we have everything here, and if not, we need to get it here, because right now, shipping is crazy. You think 2 days and take 2 months.
When it came back from Media Blast, the Ford was in really, really rough shape. The body guys can fix some of it, but the floors are just beyond fixing. So we cut them all out and just started totally fresh.
So now I got the old floor cut out. Next step is go ahead and start breaking my new metal for the transition. So now I can go ahead and cut this out and continue on making the drive shaft tunnel. Okay, so I got my 2 filler pieces in. Next step is go ahead and make this piece contour for around the transmission to start my transmission tunnel. As you can see, all these little lines right here, I'm breaking it. It's starting to roll. So if I do enough of these lines on both sides of the center, it's gonna have a nice radius of the transmission. Everything's looking good right here, so now it's time to go ahead and make my drive shaft tunnel fit to my transmission tunnel. It's nice to be able to do it in one piece. There's no breaks in it, so it's gonna be one nice smooth line. It's gonna go right to my transmission tunnel. Everything is really just coming together on this car. There you go, man.
Heck yeah.
This is pretty much the only piece of the original floor left. Everything else has been made and made new. All right.
Looking good, man, compared to what it was, right? Full of rust and full of holes and
This wasn't safe.
full of crap.
Yeah.
This puts us about midway point as far as the floor itself. We'll get this knocked out, take the body off, and get busy.
That sounds good.
To save some time, we're gonna work on the front and the back at the same time for the coupe.
So our new fabricator, John, is making the notch cover. We've heard about John for a while. We know about his skill set. And as busy as we are right now, it's good to have him on the team.
So now we got the notch in, and it all fits nice. We're gonna go ahead and tack it in place, and we're gonna join the back of the car to the front of the car and fill a little bit around the notch and go with the floors in this car.
Now that we got the 4 links done on the F450, Jamie and I can get going on the rear bag mounts.
You know, this is the fun part, getting to put a little style into the fabrication. You know, not just making it work, but you gotta make it look cool along the way. So what we're gonna be doing is bending
the lower bag mounts. Give it a little, just that little bend goes a long, long way in just the custom look. You're gonna see all the fabrication under it. So you'll be able to walk past it and go, man, that's cool. Let me go check that out a little more. I mean, it all starts with this right here. You know, this design's a little bit different from our norm. You know, normally you have all springs, you have all coilovers, or you have all bags. But in this case, we're gonna have coilovers in the front and bags in the back. The bags we're putting in here gotta hold anything. I mean, anything you put in the bed of the truck, and no matter how heavy the trailer is, it's gonna lift it right up with ease. Let's do that. We took a little time to make sure the pipe fits perfect on the first lower bag mount. So it's kind of weird. It's got to bend this way, chopped off at the top, and it's got a weird fit around the pipe itself. So I'm just gonna make a quick little template so I can produce each one of these pipes the same. We have 8 of them we have to make. So instead of doing each one individually, I'll make a quick little template so we can replicate that times 8, smooth sailing. We're about to see how this looks. Hell yeah. Look good, Jamie.
Yep, looks nice. I like it.
We finally got the body in the 46 Ford Coupe in good enough shape. So now John can make the new door panels.
All right, I've got all my pieces made, got them together. So the next thing I'm gonna do is actually get in the car. We wanna start getting them in place and getting it laid out and getting all the structure there. Once that's all in place, we'll start mudding it together. We're gonna do it in the car. That way, you can see the door has a little bit of a curve to it. So if we body work this in place, it's gonna help hold that curve. That way the panel won't flex and go flat. We can go body work it over on the table and get it finished up over in the shop.
So this is our insert, and what we're gonna do, take this TIG rod and I'm gonna bend it around my insert just to create some body lines in it. So to create this, what I wanna do is I'm gonna take my insert and I'm gonna scribe it out and just creating some layout lines so I know where to put my rods at. And I'm gonna use my insert as my jig to bend it. All right. That's gonna be our layout right there. Everything's got a good line to it, so I'll grab some glue, lock these down. Bill wants to keep the feel and style of an old hot rod, just to keep it nice and clean and give it some elegant touch to it without going too far overboard.
It's kind of got that 50s diner look. We should be in roller skates and doing this. Just roll around.
All right, so we'll let that do its thing. Once it's dry, we'll start with the body work. Time to sling a little mud. Just gonna use our wire as our guide to get a nice contour in here. Now we're just taking our paper and sanding our contour into this. What I'm doing is I'm only putting the bevel on one side of the wire. That way it just kind of steps up and down. Looks like layers in the panel. All right, so we got everything body worked in. Lines are nice and straight, everything looks good. These two inserts are gonna have the accent color on them, with this panel being wrapped in the base color of the car, and it fits right into the door. Magic.
So on the 450, we're gonna go air on the rear and coilovers in the front. With that kind of setup, the rear airbags will be extra strong and be able to handle whatever we wanna haul. While the coilovers in the front give us just that different look for this go-around.
So first thing is go ahead and start putting the coilovers in is make them a mount right here. This is gonna be the base of the coilover right here. Then we'll bring it all the way up. I'm gonna make a nice little radius across here, a couple bends, and this is where I'll attach the top of my coilover. So first thing is go ahead and get started making those mounts. Some people might buckle under the pressure of, building something custom, and especially something custom for Bill Carlton, because, he's Bill Carlton. He's been doing this for a long time. Me, I've worked side by side with Bill for years. I build them all the same. Safety first, quality. Everything has to be strong, sturdy, and built to last. So, that's why it's good to have, a little bit extra braces here, there, because not only am I going to be hauling a lot of weight, it's a reflection of us, the shop, and I'm building it, so I want to do the best to my ability. That's the bottom wrapped up. Now go ahead and move on to the top. Kind of like the way it looks now.
Jamie did a real good job getting our top loop in and our bottom coilover bracket. It's going to be a little different from what we normally do. Normally it's coilovers front and back, or bags front and back. This was a little different. I want coilovers on the front just because I want to do a different look this year. But I'm going to be hauling a lot of weight. We're all going to be hauling a lot of weight. This is going to be pretty much a shop truck, so we definitely can't haul a lot of weight with coilover stuff. We're gonna do bags on the back, coilovers in the front, just kind of mix it up a little bit. The thing I'm trying to do now, the challenge is we got a bunch of tube work in the back for the bags that come down to the bag. Now this is just total opposite, where the coilover is gonna be mounted up high, so all the pipe work has to go up in the front and all down in the back. So we're gonna try to do our best to make it look cool and flow front to back. Man, that's what it needs, is some three-dimensional more.
Yeah, bring it out. Definitely give it that style we're looking for.
So let's bend this. Same radius, probably right about here.
All right, I guess we can start bending.
That'll work. Just looking at it, looks like some bent pipes. We just cut the ends off, put up there, but that's definitely not the case. It is very labor intensive to notch, bevel, cut, grind, do that 20 times in some cases just to make the pipe fit just right. And once you weld over it, it just looks super easy then, but it's definitely not that easy. Think it looks like somebody looking through binoculars?
I don't know what it looks like. I like the way it looks. It looks good. Nice.
I got a call from Robert saying the F450 trailer's ready for pickup. It's usually me showing a build to a customer for the first time, but today I'm that customer and I'm excited.
Robert, what's happening,
what's going on,
man?
How you doing, man?
Man, we
all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You ready to pick that thing up?
I'm definitely ready to check it out, and I'm ready to put it to work.
We're all excited about this trailer. This is the biggest thing we've ever built here. So we can't wait to see what you're going to load on it.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out. Man, I think you're going to be excited about this. This thing is a beast.
Man!
All right, what do you think about this? This is what we talked about.
Man! This is exactly what I need. This is badass.
This is not like anything we've ever built before.
This is really, really, really gonna help me and the shop out. You can't haul the cars that we have on a normal trailer. It has to be custom built like this.
Check out this hitch that we put on the front of it. 1 inch thick plate.
What?
No ball. We're gonna put a penalty on the front of this.
What? I've never had one of those like that. That's crazy looking.
For the kind of weight that you're hauling, you gotta have it. We've got multiple adjustment holes where we can raise it up to the height that you need with that big truck.
No matter if it's high, low, whatever weight you got on it,
we'll be able to raise it. We've got hydraulic jacks on here. It's going to be able to handle any weight that you're going to put on this thing. You're not going to have any issues as far as raising this thing up and down.
I hate trying to I can't.
You will never have that
stand it.
issue again, and it will pick up anything that you've got on there. This will handle it.
Man, this is cool. This is cool.
We have changed out all of the axles. You have got 15,000 pounds on each axle.
What?
17 5-wheel and tire assemblies. You are not going to have an issue on this.
This is way, way more than I was thinking in my head. I'm impressed.
Good. That's what we do. Look at the length of this. 40 foot.
Super long.
40 foot dove on the end for easy loading.
We can haul 2 cars on this, no matter what they are. I want to be able to go anywhere I want to go and haul anything I want to on it.
This will handle it.
Thank
well,
you.
hey,
Thank
this
you.
is the first for us. I think you'll enjoy it.
Thank you, man. I knew you were going to hook me up.
Once you get it hooked up, put the trucks on it, send some pictures. I can't wait to see it.
I'm going to do that, man. Thank you, Robert.
You know, the 21 F450 is going to perform double duties for us. It needs to haul our show trucks to car shows while looking good doing it.
You know, we got the lower bag mounts done. We got the upper bag mounts all tied in. You know, it looks good, looks super strong, but it isn't as strong as we need. So it's all about adding a lot more bars, a lot more strength, and a lot more style. You know, the key to making it super strong is the intersections of all the piping, all the joints where they intersect with one another, and one transfers the weight down to another joint, transfers the weight to somewhere else. So just like kind of like a truss system where you have the little zigzags and they all intersect at certain points, and that's basically what we're building here on the suspension itself, is using the pipes not only for style, but it's also meant to be super, super strong. You know, in a process like this, you know, there comes a time where you know it's done, it feels right, looks right. That's exactly what this does. Now it's time to blow it apart and get it off to powder coat.
The 46 Coupe is one of those really iconic cars. So we're going to add modern features and still keep that custom classic design. So John is hiding the subwoofer in a fully custom built suitcase.
One of the things we have to do with this 46 Ford is we want to make sure that this thing still has that classy look, that classy feel to it. So we got to put a subwoofer in it somehow. Only way I know how to do it is going to be to disguise it. So I've already built the subwoofer enclosure to look just like a suitcase. Things got all the detail sanding done, looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with wrapping the center of this. You got to get down into the groove where it looks like it separates. And then we'll work it up into each groove, top and bottom. And then from there, it'll be looking like a suitcase. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna take our vinyl here, get it all glued up. All right, set that to the side, glue up the enclosure. I'll use a paintbrush and get the glue all the way down in the crack. That way when I wrap it, it'll hold the vinyl in place. And boom goes the dynamite. All right, here we go. It's a moment of truth. Stick it and start wrapping. Just want to start by working this down into this groove here. Give it a little stretch around that corner. Working around these corners is very difficult. You want to make sure that you work down into the bottom of this corner, because if you just stretch it across it and go around it, you won't be able to get down into the bottom and we'll lose this detail. Perfect. Quite an adventure to get around this thing and get this thing wrapped, but in the end, I think it's going to be well worth it. Looks like a piece of luggage from the 1940s instead of a subwoofer from the 2021. With that said, that is our suitcase. Let's get some belts on it. So this is just a piece of welt cord. We'll be taking this, wrapping it with our vinyl, and this is what gets tucked down into the groove around the suitcase. This is just going to help to mimic the seam on the suitcase where the tops and the edges come together. It's just a little creative detail in here. I'm gonna trim it down so it's narrow enough, and we'll just wrap it around the box. Like a glove. Last thing to go on. Now, we'll put our woofer in it. All right. And no one's gonna ever know that there's a speaker in this thing. This thing turned out great. Almost better than I imagined it, so get it in the car.
Like any big job, the 46 Coupe has a big checklist for all the stuff we got to get done. And this one is a really long list. While John and his team are making the custom interior, we're finishing up the front suspension.
You know, Old Blue Thunder's really come together. We got the frame done, got the body getting busy. We just got our wheels in, so now we know how to build everything. So the next step, putting the wheel and tire underneath with the spindle, mocking up the lower control arms. Then we're really rolling with it, and we can get this thing done. We're gonna call that ride height.
What is the measurement?
It's good. It's perfect distance this way, because we're gonna get a little bit of negative camber when we go up, so that'll clear even more and more, you know, with the radius. You'll see the angle of the lower ball joint real quick.
Needs to go forward about an inch, 3/4 inch.
You know, there's a lot of variables when it comes to setting something like this up. There's no, this is wrong, this is right. You got to rely on the experience each and every single time, build upon the last experience. So that's where we're at right now, is the latest and greatest doing what we do.
While the frame just needing a little bit of final welding and the cab in the body shop, I can finally see the end on this build. Next up, the last bits of metalwork. Full interior, rolling chassis, paint, and we'll be able to surprise Ryan's dad with Blue Thunder looking a whole lot better than it did sitting in his garage.
Sure, there's a couple of old timers that had worked on this car when it was new. They had no idea that one day it was going to be something like that.
With the 450 being so high up, I want to add some lights. So George is going to light this thing up.
So today we're going to be installing 20 rock lights. It's going to light up the whole undercarriage. You know, our focus is to light up, you know, all the suspension work, everything that's, you know, custom made. We're going to, you know, light up the whole rear end, the whole front axle. So it's a real meticulous job, but once it's all done, it really sets the car off at night. So like on these, usually what we have to do before we start drilling is we have to look underneath the hood, because on these newer models, you know, they have so much electronics, they have everything that they jam up under the hood, that you have to be careful, because if you start drilling, you can easily, you know, drill through like an ECM or a fuse box or something. Perfect example, there's a big wiring harness right here, and we could easily hit this, so that's pretty much why you want to be careful when you want to pull these out or always see before you start drilling. Now that I got the holes in the fender wells, it's time to start running some wire. You know, the tough challenge on it, it's gonna be is just trying to link everything up together, you know, making sure that everything is in line. And not only does it have to work right, you know, it has to look good underneath the truck, because this is a jacked up truck, you know, and when people look underneath it, you don't want to see wires hanging or, you know, things right underneath the motor. You want it to look nice and neat and professional. So now that I got the wires run, it's time to put in these lights. They're 2,000 lumen, and they have 3 little LEDs in them. So, I mean, you always want to put them in the right space. That way we don't cast any shadows or anything like that. They're right in the perfect place to show the perfect lighting on it. Cool, I got these all wired in. Now it's time to plug them up and see if they work. 2 down, 18 to go.
I can't stand all that chrome on the new 450 shop truck. So we're gonna pull it all off, and Edgar and the team are gonna paint it all glossy black to match the rest of the truck.
We got this grill for Bill's F450. What he wants to do is black it out. So what I gotta do, pretty much tear it apart, scuff it, prep it, and turn it into gloss black. Pretty much what I'm mixing up is some sealer that's specialized for chrome, because usually when most people paint chrome, eventually like 2 months or so later, it starts flaking off. So this is the sealer that I'm using, which is black. It's gonna give me an advantage of when I throw my coat, which is the base coat. It get faster coverage, and it'll be gloss black by the end of the day.
Done deal, baby.
It's all coming together on the F450. We got the suspension back from powder coat. We're gonna add 28-inch wheels and a rolling bed cover. I love seeing projects come together. New shop truck, new shop trailer, trailer loaded. It's impressive. As good as the 450 looks, it's gotta be built to perform. We have a car show we're going to, so we're gonna load it up with about 20,000 pounds. So we're not wasting any time putting the shop truck to work.
Last little bit, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's your first show with us, man. You got to be excited.
I am, dude. I am. I love the shows.
Hey, it's a lot of work, but you have a good time, too.
It's a lot of stuff.
You ready to roll, man?
Last of
little
it.
bit.
Everything else is pretty much loaded up.
Man, Timmy's finishing up right now with the trucks. He got it all loaded up. This is the last thing.
The new
We can
rig.
roll.
It's ready to go?
Yeah. Here, I'll grab this one.
All right, let's go see it. I'll get this one.
Come on, man.
Oh, man. That is way bigger than I thought you guys were going to build it.
A little bit higher than we originally anticipated.
For sure.
Well, it's got to look good, too.
Oh, it definitely does. Me being in the office, I don't get to see a whole lot of the builds until they're done. But seeing this thing roll out, you know, as a whole is just, it's mind-blowing.
Let's go check it out.
All right.
Let's go load up.
Look at this setup. That's a hauler.
Right?
That is serious.
Do you expect anything less than Bill to put a brand new truck on the lift?
That's very true.
You know, it's a little bit higher than I was originally going to do. We just, you know, keep pushing the button, kind of
look better as it got bigger.
Get it on the lift.
It's a little higher when you wanted it.
This is a perfect height.
It's awesome.
You know, I know at first I said I wanted just a little lift, little tires, but seeing the truck now, the height it is, the huge lift we put on it, the huge 4-link, all blacked out with big wheels and tires, this couldn't represent Ekstensive any better.
The wheels on this thing are awesome. That
Right?
set it off right there.
28-inch TISs, all black.
That's a monster. But it fits it.
Perfect.
It
yes.
fits it. And the 4-link under there is just massive.
Yeah, you was wondering why I needed that many 1-inch FK Heims, right?
Yeah. Now I see why they're all there.
Right. I mean,
not
that's
small.
a tremendous amount of weight behind stopping and starting. So each one of those points were just critical. Yeah, it's pretty cool, too. I wanted to mix it up a little bit and put coilovers in the front. And, of course, we had to have the airbags in the back to haul weight like this. There's no way you could haul this much tonnage with coilovers in the back. So we had to have the big bags.
Yeah, hauling that truck's no easy task, much less 2 trucks on this trailer. So this truck's gonna be a workhorse that we're gonna use. I mean, it's gonna be used.
We had to make it look cool, too. We had to have the tube work coming all down and just black it all out.
Bill could not have any chrome. Everything blacked out.
And spider wraps come in, wrap the bars, wrap the shocks, you know, the inner fender wells. You know, it's still black, but it's got a little twist to it.
Yeah.
And you know how shows go, we can't leave all the products in there. So we put a bed cover and a pull-out. There's a deck system in the bed. You pull out and everything goes in there, and then the cover covers everything.
Yeah, so we can lock it up, put all our straps up, put all our equipment up. Very cool.
You guys ready to roll? That's all done?
Everything's strapped, that's strapped, trailer's hooked up. Put these in, we can roll.
Let's go for a test drive.
Let's go.
I'm driving.
Shotgun.
Show season starting off, and I'm excited. You know, it used to be when I roll into a car show, you want to get that trophy. You know, now how you roll into the car show is way more impressive than any trophy you go home with, in my opinion. You know, rolling up in the new shop truck, new trailer, with the trailer fully loaded, that's what the car show is all about to me. Just one more example of what we do. You know, guys coming to work, kicking ass, building cool stuff, and then showing how we do it all around the country.